The Detroit Lions right now have at least a top 10 wide receiver room. And with the addition of someone like DeAndre Hopkins, we would probably have the best wide receiver room in the National Football League. And while some are on board with signing DeAndre Hopkins, there are a few out there that are not. Now, I was one of the ones that had talked about it if back before he was released as far as a trade and how I wouldn't give up too much capital for a 30-year-old wide receiver. Plus, you had the financial ramifications as well. But now that he's been released, his name keeps getting connected to the Detroit Lions. And just like before, when Jalen Ramsey was connected to our team, it wound up being some truth to that. So these rumors and such, I believe that there is some validity to them. Now, there is a 1 in 31 chance that DeAndre Hopkins comes to the Detroit Lions. And when it all comes down to it, it's going to be a decision that obviously he's going to have to make. I'm sure he has multiple teams that are courting him right now, and I do believe that our team could be one of them. But I saw this last night, and I felt that I had to bring it to your attention, okay? And this is from NFL Rumors. Now, this account was the first time I saw anything linking Jalen Ramsey to the city of Detroit, and then after everything was said and done, later that day after he went to the Miami Dolphins, the Detroit Lions were actively in pursuing Jalen Ramsey, and then we didn't go take a cornerback in the NFL draft. So I think that there was a lot of truth to that, and it was confirmed that it was. But according to NFL Rumors, says the Lions reportedly have done homework on free agent DeAndre Hopkins. Now, what exactly does have done homework mean? Does that mean that they have investigated? Have they attempted? Have they made any effort to talk to him? I'm sure multiple teams around the NFL have done homework on DeAndre Hopkins. Could that mean that like I said, they've contacted him? Does that mean that, what does that mean? There's a plethora of things that could mean. But I also wanted to bring to your attention this as well, that according to CBS Sports, okay, they have a few teams that are dark horse candidates to sign DeAndre Hopkins. Let me share with you this information. According to CBS Sports, number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Number 4, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 3, the Cleveland Browns. Number 2, the New England Patriots. And number 1, the Detroit Lions. Says the Lions are actually the favorites to win the NFC North this upcoming season, something they haven't done since 1993. This wide receiving core has a legitimate stud in Amon-Ra St. Brown, a prospective stud in Jameson Williams. I like that. And a couple of veterans in Josh Reynolds and Marvin Jones. Adding Hopkins would make this one of the most interesting groups in the entire NFL. Now, he cut out Khalif Raymond, who's been solid for us. Got to give Khalif his props. Why not go all in this season? The Lions also have $23.7 billion in cap space, which ranks 4th in the NFL. It appears Jared Goff has turned the corner as the Lions quarterback. He went 5-16-1 in his first 22 games with Detroit, but is 7-2 over his last 9 games. The organization likes Goff and should continue to find weapons to surround him with. Now, I agree with this dark horse sentiment. I don't think the Detroit Lions are on top of the list. I think that they are dark horse candidates. Here's my prediction for DeAndre Hopkins, my true prediction. Would I mind if he came to Detroit? I wouldn't, because we say we trust Brad and Dan, right? And we think we know, and Sheila too, we think we know about these guys. But if they talk to DeAndre Hopkins and they thought to bring him in, we would have to trust that decision, right? So me and you can talk and I can make videos and you can comment, but we're not in charge of the organization. Sheila Hemp is, these guys are help running it, right? So we would have to trust that he was a good fit. That's just where I stand on that. But I do believe that the Detroit Lions are a dark horse for all the reasons listed here. Even when Jameson Williams came back, you're talking about the best wide receiver core, bar none. We would have to be better than Cincinnati, which I think they have probably the best. Most teams have tandems. You got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and so on and so forth. But I think we would have the best, bar none. Like if somebody goes down, somebody else could step up, right? But dark horse, yes. Here's what I think is going to happen. I don't think he goes to Buffalo because it's too cold. And Buffalo can't seem to get out their own way. They got to deal with Cincinnati and Kansas City. He could go to Kansas City. I see that. I also see him going to the Baltimore Ravens. Those are, to me, the two top teams that he could wind up going to. If he goes to Kansas City, he would probably number one. If he goes to the Baltimore Ravens, then it would be him and Odell. I don't think he goes to Cleveland. I just don't think that happens. The reason that I also, in addition to what was said with CBS Sports, the reason I think the Detroit Lions could be enticing is because being in the NFC, we have to go through probably the Eagles and 49ers. We are projected to win our division. We are projected to be a significant kind of team in the NFC. I think the path to the championship is a little easier in the NFC than the AFC. It's kind of like the East in the NBA as opposed to the West, right? So I think the path would be easier in the NFC. I think if he wants to carry a team, he goes to Kansas City, meaning be the number one target, right? If he wants to kind of split it up, he goes to Baltimore. And he said Lamar Jackson was one of the teams that he said, quarterbacks he said he wanted to play with. If he comes to Detroit, he's going to take a back seat, which means he's going to be it's hard to say because he doesn't have to play a prominent role. Everything is going to get spread around, right? But if he comes to Detroit, he will have a greater chance to not have to carry the load. If he still wants to do that, he doesn't come here. If he wants to be part of something, part of a team, camaraderie, then he would come here. So dark horse, yes. And again, we're going to talk about this because it doesn't not make sense. It really doesn't. And you got to understand that the Detroit Lions are trying to become a better team. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is a bad move. And if we did bring him in, right, then I trust the team. You either trust the team or you don't. You can't, you know what I'm saying? So if they bring him in and then you don't trust him, then that's something too, right? But I have seen enough of this regime that I trust them, that they're going to make the right decisions. He may or may not be one, but I truly believe that they are definitely doing their homework on DeAndre Hopkins. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't worry, Lions fans. He'll sign somewhere. It may or may not be here. If he signs here, we're breaking the internet. That's period, right? But if he doesn't, then this all goes away, right? So it'll be over soon. Don't you worry about it. Just like Lamar Jackson ended not too long ago, this will too. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.